Hello, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. So, since my son is still napping, I'm going to go ahead and get started into Archangel Michael today as well. I ended up covering Lord of the Rings, which ended up being two videos. I ran out of storage actually, so hopefully that doesn't happen to me during this video, or this video might be cut short as well. I need to go through my media and I guess delete some things. Before I get started on Archangel Michael, the tones that you're hearing in the background for this video, it's one of the first ones on YouTube. If you type in Archangel Michael clearing all dark energy from your aura with alpha waves Archangel healing music, and the channel is Angelical Meditation. Looks like I'm not subscribed to them, so I'm going to go ahead and subscribe right now. Alright, Archangel Michael. This is probably going to be a long video series because I have a lot of notes on Michael already, and there's at least one or two more videos that I have to go through and pull notes from. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. Let's at least get started today. So, the first notes that I'm going to go over, they come from the YouTube channel Grunge. It's called Grunge channel maybe, or maybe the YouTube channel is just called Grunge, and the video is called The Untold Truth of Archangel Michael. It's a good video. It has a lot of good information in it. I'm glad the guy put it together. He does a really good job. So there's only a few biblical passages about the Archangel Michael, but as the leader of the angelic army, he is one of the more popular ones, of course. He's probably the most popular archangel that you hear about. There's a lot of Michaels out there. Michael was the name of one of my buddies growing up too, and I know quite a few others. An interesting thing that did happen, the last, I believe, two music shows I've played pretty much drums for, the sound guy at both was Michael, and the one guy ended up knowing some things about ceremonial magic and knowing about the LBRP, and the other Michael, I had invoked the name Michael because I felt just a little bit comfortable at the bar. Bars aren't really like my typical scene, but I've played so many shows out in bars, but sometimes I'll put up my protective shield, and I'd called upon Archangel Michael, and sure enough, the sound guy that night was Michael. So two very cool Michaels. I thought that was a cool synchronicity. Archangel Michael's power is it's strong, so if you need protection, don't hesitate to call upon Archangel Michael. And, you know, being brought up like with a Christian, Judeo-Christian kind of background, if you were raised in church or whatever, I think the symbols of the angels work more powerful than some of the other traditions, like maybe Egyptian pantheon or like the Eastern pantheons. The angels might work better for your subconscious because you're already programmed to work with the symbolical set of biblical stuff. But of course, any tradition they're all equally valid, in my opinion, because they're all based off of each other anyway, and they all come from older stories. Michael plays importance in Judaism, Catholicism, and Islam. Of course, he led the battle that led to the fall of Lucifer. Saint Basil, or Bozel, and Thomas Aquinas, I've heard of him before, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, call him a prince among the angels. Only one of the three archangels mentioned in the Bible. The Apocrypha mentions these angels as well in more detail, but also includes Uriel, Seraquel, Raguel, and Remiel. Michael is said to be the greatest among the seven, and some say he is the only true archangel. Kind of a weird theory, but we'll get into more in that later because there's some really interesting Michael lore correlated with Jesus, which we'll get into that. So Uriel, Seraquel, Raguel, and Remiel, and I don't know who those other angels are. Of course, we recognize Uriel as the angel of the north, the archangel of earth. Michael is said to be the greatest among the seven. Oh, I already read that. The Epistle of St. Jude confers this title, the title of archangel. And none of the other archangels are given this same title. Michael is only one of the chief princes. I put a question mark. So there should be others, since he's referred to as one of the chief princes, so there must be others. Anyway, continuing on, Michael's name appears twice in the book of Daniel, once in the Epistle of Jude, and once in the book of Revelation. I made a mention because I'm covering multiple videos with this Michael stuff that I would probably cover these mentions in more detail later. So I'm skipping some of the information for now. And St. Jude is the first and only time Michael is actually referenced as an archangel, and contains the only words that he actually speaks directed at Satan. The Lord rebukes you. So those are the only actual words coming out of Archangel Michael's mouth. The Lord rebukes you. In Revelation, which I would assume most of you know is the last book of the Bible, in the battle of Lucifer, the devil manifests as a dragon. They win the battle and send the angels. The angels win the battle. Not the fallen angels, but Michael and his army win the battle and send the angels to the pits of hell. This whole Lucifer thing changing into a dragon, it kind of reminds me of, I'm going to be nerdy and make the reference, but the Ocarina of Time, where Ganondorf turns into Ganon the Beast. It's a similar kind of vibe. There's the beast side of Lucifer, and then there's kind of the more clean-cut version, which you see in the TV show and stuff. So there's different archetypes or aspects of all these different mythological characters. The Catholics say Michael is a powerful force even on earth. They invoke his name in prayers and ceremonies. The founding fathers of the church strongly believe that he played pivotal roles during monumental events in the history of the Catholic Church. Some of them say that Michael was the angel guarding the entrance to the Garden of Eden. He may have been the angel to have published, quote, the Ten Commandments. The reason for him being the angel guarding the entrance to the Garden of Eden is because he always has a flaming sword, so some people think it's Michael. He may have been the angel to... Oh, I already read that, I'm sorry. I have to keep finding my spot. Michael is also said to have decimated the Assyrian king Sennacherib, not sure how to pronounce that. He decimated the Assyrian king's army and blocked Balaam's way after the prophet incurred the gods' ire. Not sure, but sounds cool and intense. Historical Egyptian Christians, also hold feasts for Archangel Michael. What does that even mean, historical Egyptian Christians? Because Christian stuff comes from Egyptian stuff, and Egyptian stuff just comes from older teachings, so I guess if you're blending the traditions together. Anyway, historical Egyptian Christians also hold feasts for Archangel Michael patterned after the Greek celebration, which falls on November 12th. They entrusted the Nile's safety and life-giving properties to this heavenly warrior. Very neat. I'm going to go peek on baby Raziel here real quick. Pretty sure he's still napping, which is why I'm being given the opportunity to go ahead and start on Archangel Michael. So I'm getting more done today than I thought I would. But give me just one moment. Yep, he's still just sleeping away. He usually never naps this much in the afternoon. Usually he winds down like that later in the evening, but it's only 3 o'clock here. Sorry. Michael's name today is invoked in exorcism rites as well. kicking demons out of a person or area, as well as in various prayers. And even just this Archangel Michael tone music, this is really pretty. I really like this. One example is the Tridentine Mass version of the Confiteor. Not sure how that's pronounced. Like I said, if you want to go and watch the video, the channel is called Grunge, and it's the untold story of Archangel Michael, I'm pretty sure is the name. But this Tridentine Mass version of the Confiteor, a prayer of acknowledging one's sins and repenting for them, sounds like confession, basically. The Archangel has 4 principal roles in the church. As the guardian of the church, it is his responsibility to protect believers' souls from Satan's power, particularly when they are about to die. So in those last moments, Archangel Michael is there to make sure that the souls, that the believer's soul, crosses over in the correct way. It almost kind of works similar to like some of these judges or gods or agents, like in the Book of the Dead. It's a lot of these angels kind of play similar roles for the soul, like after death, helping them to make their sojourn. Arch nemesis of Satan and former angels under his command. Michael is the arch nemesis of Satan and these fallen angels, tasked with leading the angels and fighting the legions of hell up until the end times, of course. Thirdly, Archangel is actually the why did I say thirdly? Oh, he has 4 principal roles in the church. So the first was the guardian of the souls, protecting them when they're about to die. 2, he's the arch nemesis of Satan. 3, he's the Archangel of Death, which is kind of ironic because we don't really see Archangel Michael's that archetype. Maybe like Samael or Zophkael or an angel more like that would be along those, in that realm. Or maybe even Barchael or Barkael, the Archangel of Scorpio. Comment if you know how to pronounce that word correctly, because I don't know how to pronounce that Archangel's name right. I usually say Barchiel or Barkael. I guess I say Barkiel. Barkael if I'm vibrating it. But they say thirdly, Michael's the Archangel of Death, whose job it is to ensure safe passage of the souls departed from the earthly realm to the Lord's presence. He gives the dying person one last shot at redemption to Satan's immense dismay. So he's this warrior light angel who protects the soul from falling into darkness, essentially. Michael's the protector of God's people, the Jews in the Old Testament, and the believers of today, often depicted overcoming. Michael is often depicted overcoming Satan in artwork. I made a note that says the former light bringer of heaven, but I think that's just talking about Satan there, where I made the note that Archangel Michael is often seen overcoming Satan in artwork, and we'll talk more about the details of that artwork later, because I don't think Michael's ever referred to as a light bearer like Lucifer was. Although after the fall of Lucifer, Michael's pretty much taking that spot because he was the next archangel in command. So he would have been third from God. There was God, Lucifer, and then Michael. That SA Reader YouTube channel though, if you kind of start watching some of their videos, you get into interesting lore like the wife of God and all this stuff, who's the mother of the angels. I'm not as familiar with that lore because I've never really read about it in the Kabbalah. I mean, they talk about like Bina and the divine feminine, And even the divine feminine is the primordial, feminine energy being the primordial chaos, but I've never heard of wife having like a literal god. So I think that lore is very interesting if you want to look into that. So I'm looking at my notes now, and I've gotten through a little bit of Archangel Michael notes, but I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 pages left of notes, which I'm not sure how much more I'm going to get into in this video. I think I'm going to go ahead, grab on my bookshelf Donald Michael Craig's Modern Magic, and we're going to get into some of the ceremonial magic correspondences for Michael. Should not take me too long to find it. Go ahead and grab Angels and Archangels by Damien as well. Okay. So with Archangel Michael, he's in the south when you perform the LBRP, which is to your right when, because you're facing the east. So to your right, you visualize a figure dressed in scarlet with green highlights. The figure holds a flaming sword, and you should feel heat coming from this direction. Say, on my right hand, Mikael is how you pronounce it, with the accent syllable being the last syllable, L. So it's Mikael. Accenting the last syllable. Okay, so that's how Donald Michael Craig describes Michael. And you can always visualize volcanoes, an upward triangle, which is, if I could make one with my hands, which is the element of fire. And I usually try to envision the lion too, because there's the four animals of Ezekiel's vision: the phoenix in the west, usually the man of Aquarius in the east, but I also envision a dragon, like for the element of air. And then you've got the lion in the south with Michael, and the bull or Taurus in the north with Uriel or Oriel. Okay, so Archangel Michael, and this is from Damien Eccles' Angels and Archangels. Many people in the Western world are familiar with Michael, the Archangel of Fire. Michael represents warrior energy, and he is also associated with summer and the southern direction. Anything pertaining to courage, willpower, ambition, or sex drive is the arena of Michael, who is also one of the easiest archangels to contact. In Catholic churches throughout the world, September 29th is known as Michaelmas, or Michaelmas, the Feast of the Archangels, but it's specifically named after Michael. And we'll talk more in detail on Michaelmas or Michaelmas later on. The name always makes me giggle. But here's how Michael's described. This is the elemental archangel for LBRP. Keys to visualizing Michael: red robes, holds a sword, anything associated with summer, so heat, dryness, intense light, etc. Some reasons to invoke Michael: to lose weight or get into shape, for ferocity and competition, for protection, that's the main reason usually, to enhance passion, for any outcome associated with fire, or the element of fire, for any outcome associated with fire. So that is the elemental Archangel Michael. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover a different version of Archangel Michael. So it's a different angel technically, which is the Tree of Life Michael. And this Tree of Life Michael is on Hod, which is splendor on the Tree of Life. Michael, Archangel of Hod. As we ascend the tree from Yesod, the next sphere we arrive at is Hod, the realm of the intellect, logic, and reasoning. It's also the realm of travel, business ventures, medicine, science, and magic. In fact, Hod is associated with all the gods of magic. I always think of like all the old gods, that type of energy. And just like literacy and scholarism and all of these things, because on the opposite tree you have Netzach, Netzach, which is victory, and it's victory over the emotions. So Hod is splendor or glory over the intellect, and you got to balance those two. Netzach's more like the Fey realm, and this is the realm of logic and reasoning in Hod. So it's the realm of travel, business ventures, medicine, science, and magic. In fact, Hod is associated with all the gods of magic: Hermes, Mercury, Thoth, etc. The Archangel of Hod is Michael, although he takes on a somewhat different manifestation than the Archangel of the element of fire, having more to do here with mediation and facilitation than with protection. Keys to visualizing Michael of Hod: orange robes instead of the red robes. So orange robes, and he holds a caduceus, a staff with two entwined snakes, just like Raphael. Some reasons to invoke Michael of Hod: to make intelligent decisions, especially during stressful times, for protection when performing magic, as well as to strengthen your magic, to recover from illness, for new business ideas and to meet with success in any business venture, to make good financial deals, say when buying a house or car, and to eloquently express yourself and your ideas. So that gives us a good idea of all the ceremonial magic correspondences for Michael. So we're going to get back into a little bit of the biblical lore of Michael here. And of course, there's still some things we can kind of throw in there about ceremonial magic. Understanding the story of all these angels will help us in our practices. I do truly believe the more lore that you come to understand. Okay, I'm gonna go check on baby one more time real quick. And then we're at 22 minutes, 22 and a half minutes. Probably make this video go for another 15 minutes or so. I just did those two videos before this. I'm probably gonna post them first, and then I'll go ahead and post this Michael video. So this has all been today, which I don't even know I know that it's Friday, but I don't know what the date is. All of the days have just run together lately. Yeah, it doesn't even tell me on the computer. It probably does somewhere, Google or wherever, but I'm not concerned. It's all one anyway. Okay, I will be right back. Thank you all for being so patient with me. All right, so let's continue a little bit longer on these Archangel Michael notes. Ezekiel chapter 28 tells the story of a magnificent being whom God, quote, anointed as a guardian cherub, until wickedness was found in him when he schemed to usurp the Creator's throne. Interesting. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15, tells how the morning star fell so low, cast out of heaven, and brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. So it sounds like they're definitely talking about Lucifer in both of those parts. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Bible, and we're just going to read. It says Ezekiel chapter 28. He did not actually read from scripture in this Bible, at least not in this part. So if it doesn't take me too long, I'm going to go try to find this real quick. Ezekiel, page 394. Okay. Chapter 28. I'm just kind of skimming through the chapter real quick. Here we go. I'll start from chapter 20, Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee. So yeah, it sounds like God's talking about Lucifer here. By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth, in the sight of all them that behold thee. Well, I'm not going to go on anymore, but I don't know that I've ever read that part of the Bible. That's really interesting. So he talks about Satan being anointed as a guardian cherub until wickedness was found in him, and he schemed to usurp the Creator's throne, of course, to overthrow God. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15 tells how the morning star fell so low, cast out of heaven, and brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. So, and although we are focusing on Archangel Michael in this video, I'm going to go ahead and read this real quick to Isaiah chapter 14, 339. So it's not too far behind this. 339. Chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. So take that into consideration too, the firmament, the zodiacal level of things. Hokmah, the sphere of Hokmah, above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So that's those verses right there. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because I hear my little son waking up. So this was a really good start, though. This is like almost a 30-minute, it is a 30-minute video pretty much. And we've covered a lot of stuff already on Archangel Michael, but I think it's probably going to take 2 more videos to completely cover Archangel Michael. I could get it done in 1 more video, but I doubt it. It's probably going to take 2. Just like it did with Archangel Gabriel. So I'm going to jump off here for now. Your host, Tyler Smith. This is Occult Perspectives. You are Occult Perspectives. We are Occult Perspectives. I like to see us as a spiritual family on here. We have almost 500 subscribers. That's really awesome. So keep it up, folks. Share with like-minded people. Make sure they're subscribed. Ring the notification bell if you want to be notified of new videos. Always feel free to comment and let me know what you want to see next. So peace and love, fam. Take care.